Hello everyone. In this video, we will see the environment file of bitbake. So in Poki, once you do source OE init script, you can run this command bitbake-e. This will show you how the environments are set in bitbake. So as you see here, this is the flow, how bitbake performs the execution. These environments are generic. So whatever package you build, let's suppose core image minimal or any Vim or PS, whatever packages are built, this will be inherited for across all the recipes. As you can see here, first of all, BB layers will be evaluated. Here in bitbake-e command, you see the all configuration and include files are evaluated one after another. It depends upon the layer specified in BB layers. Once it finds the layers, it will go to each layer directory and the layer.conf file, which will show what BB files needs to be evaluated. So currently 3 layers are present in BB layer.conf: meta, meta-poki, meta-yocto BSP. So one after another, it will look through all those configurations. Once it finishes it, it will check the local.conf file where our machine and build specific information is specified. Now, if you see here, meta-poki, meta, and meta-yocto BSP's configuration, BB classes, and this documentation and this stuff is evaluated. We will see what all the useful variables are set here, which we can focus on. This is the mirror directory specified. It's Apache mirror directory. The AR, what all it export is GCC AR. This is to create static libraries. So all the basic stuff is done here. If you see the default kernel image type, BZ image is specified by default. It is across all the architecture, x86 and x86-64. Currently, Camo is specified. That's why we are seeing this. If you specify BeagleBone Yocto, then you will see that variable as well here. All the GCC related stuff will be exported. By default, the source revision will be auto. So the top revision will be fetched unless you specified something. These are the tuning features available. This is the default path name. Let's suppose I specify core image minimal. So in work directory, you can look through this directory. Here, the default package name means core image minimal name, then the version, and this is the place where your source code will be fetched and unpacked. Basically, your bitbake will depend on this stuff: GCC, compiler libraries, and libc. If you make any change, you can look through this file to understand if your change is applied or not. This is the work directory specified here, where all the output will be placed, apart from downloads and estate. This is the layer specified: Yocto BSP, meta-poki, meta. The priority of all the layers are specified. This information is present in layer.conf directory, layer.conf file in each layers directory. This is the command line, whatever we trigger the bitbake. The bitbake location is this bin/bitbake, and we trigger -e. So that information is also saved here. The logs are also saved. So you can understand that behavior of Yocto using this. You see the BB path is set with meta-pokey, build directory, meta layer, and Yocto BSP layer. This is the BB path. The recipes will be searched in this path. If it is not able to find any recipe, then you should look through that bblayer.com to see if your layer is added or not. So for debugging purposes also, this is very useful. This is the architecture as I specified. I set camo x86 64. So the architecture is specified. The default OS is Linux. Linux is mentioned here. Read ELF version, which application to pick for stripping, the cache directory, which task to be run when you make clean function, or when you trigger the clean functionality of each package, where the license directory is. So these variables can be used in your recipe by default. So it will pick that path. You don't need to specify the whole path. Just these variables can be picked. So if you're making any recipe file and you are confused that how to use your variables, you can directly go through this environment file, and then you will be able to work with your recipe more quickly and in efficient manner. The date and time is also specified. It will take current time. Here D variable is very important. So whenever you build anything, let's suppose core image minimal or some other package, so once that the package building is finished, where this output binaries and libraries will be placed, so this is the default location for each and every recipe. So this is the package name, whatever you specify will come here, the revision name and the image folder. So image folder will have all the binaries and executables of specific package that one can go through and pick directly from there as well. The default depends is mentioned as same as earlier. Deploy directory is mentioned here. So deploy directory is used to put your images, your root fs, kernel image, hdks, as it is stated here. Use this to place images, packages, hdks, and some output folder of build system, whole build system. So there are for tar, for rpm, for ipk, different paths are mentioned. For our machine, this is the path where your output will be placed under image, deploy image in this path. So if you use the same temporary folder or temp folder to build for BeagleBone, so the up to this much the path will be same. Then here it will create a new folder of BeagleBone Yocto, and then it will place your images. The distro features, download directory is specified here. If you make any change, it's better to cross check with this environment file. So most of everything is here. For debugging and to understand it better, it's better to go through it once. So what variables can be used if you want to do something. This is the file path for bins. So this is the rootfs file path to put your binaries. So mostly everything is available in this environment file. Which version of GCC is used, that is also available. Your home directory, the home page, the default file system type. You can specify more. Here you can see tar.gzad is mentioned. The RPM package management system is used by default. The rootfs file path. If your recipe is providing rootfs, this is the location where you can find once build is finished. What all it inherits. So there are some tools which are useful when you start working with Yocto. Initram fs file system type, size, this stuff is also mentioned. This is the default settings. One can make any change, or once you run your environment file for specific recipe, this will be updated. But this is generic. If you don't specify anything, this will be applied. So I hope you got some idea. There are a lot more things. You see the machine architecture is CAMO x86-64. So I recommend you to go through this once. I am at the midway, so I'm not going to show the full file as it will take a lot of time. But I suggest you to go through it once to understand it better. In next session, I will show the environment file for core image minimal. So there we will see what all the modification done in an environment file when you build core image minimal. File system types can be changed. The actual path of those work directories will be placed. So that will see in the next session. Okay, so I hope this is very useful to you and you find it very useful. We'll see in next lecture.